what will your, I'm sorry, Rick, what will your buddies do? What if the thing just got shelved and say, we're not going to do anything, let the markets do it, damn the torpedoes, let the markets do what they want to do? What do you think would happen in the next 2 weeks? I guess that's a hard question to ask you.
You know what, I'll tell you what, I can't give you details, but there's an even split on this trading floor. Some of the people think, you know, if you have a Sears tower that's riddled with termites and your goal is to build a beautiful new shiny one on top of it, maybe that's doomed to fail anyway. The other group says, you know, well, you can't tear the whole thing down. The whole run on the bank mentality would be ugly. Many traders agree on one common denominator, Joe. They think it's going to be ugly no matter what you do, and that the real question is, sit down with your kids or sit down with, you know, other people's grandkids and say, what do you want to do? What is it going to look like in 5 years, depending on the plan? Maybe we just need to tighten our belts. I'm not making a judgment call either way, but I find it really kind of humorous that some of the best authors in the financial community that I've respected for years, they write pieces saying how much money we're going to make when nobody even knows what the pricing mechanism is going to be. Viewers, be careful out there of snake oil salesmen on every side trying to present this plan. We don't know enough details. One thing we do know, the history of the government making money for us isn't a great one. Back to you, big guy.
Thanks, Rick.
And he's saying that in the pits where he can see everything that's going on.
I know.
Everything. He sees Morgan debt trading at 32%.
He said 50,
I don't know what
50.
he's talking about. Things,
I'm going to bring him back, Leisman.
Not being urgent. I mean, I just did
I'll bring him right back. Go ahead. Leisman's popping off.
I didn't even get to talk here, Joe. I mean,
I just, you know, the joke today, and believe me, this isn't really that important, but, you know, McDonald's default swaps are now cheaper than America's default swaps. But as I said yesterday, our drive-up window gives away more than cheeseburgers on the government balance sheet.
Ricky, wait a second. This is not a time to be debating ideology.
Jack, I don't want to even hear it, Jack.
Wait.
Jack, don't tell me when it's a time to debate. How can somebody go to Congress?
This is not the time to debate ideology.
And ask for my sweatshirt.
Because the patient has had a heart attack. Look, you know, when you got Schumer out there saying that the arteries are clogged, that worries me. You know why? Because it tells me he doesn't understand what's going on. These are not clogged arteries. This is a full-fledged heart attack. And either you do something to save the system, or you don't.
I want to agree with you, Jack.
If it's a heart attack, it's a heart attack.
Rick, can we just agree that it's a fairly urgent situation out in the markets right now?
You know what? We all agree, but unfortunately the politicians don't agree, and they're playing Russian roulette with this issue.
If you look at the Fed's balance sheet from yesterday, which I'm sure you memorized, the entire banking system, or most of it thereof, is on Fed life support.
Because they should be. They're insolvent, for darn sake.
Okay. All right. Let's just agree that the banking system is on life support right now, and that whatever the right solution is, there's need for some sort of urgent solution. I don't really want to debate that because I agree with Jack. It's not time for ideology. Can I give you, though, I just want to talk to you guys real quick here. This morning we were talking about the House Republican plans. There was a lot of bashing going on from the Democratic side. I got a call from Representative Paul Ryan, a Republican from Wisconsin, who says, look, you guys don't understand what was happening yesterday. There was no deal to begin with. That there was basically political theatrics going on. The House Republicans were simply trying to find a solution that would be palatable to the Democrats and the Republicans. He said the Dems have the votes if they want to pass it. And we saw this bill going down. We saw a market crash coming. That's why the House Republicans stepped forward. That's Paul Ryan's version of events yesterday.
His argument is they filled the vacuum.
They filled a vacuum, that there was all this political theatrics going on, that there was a deal. Dodd stepped forward. Did Dodd step forward to talk before? He didn't say this. I'm just surmising myself. Before McCain and Obama came, so that this was seen as not necessarily a McCain riding to the rescue. Anyway, he's telling us that our version of history, that there was a deal, was wrong, and that they stepped forward with this idea of government insurance. He says, look, the government knows how to insure mortgages. They called Wall Street to get this idea from them, and they were looking for something that would be helpful. I don't know that it's necessarily helpful that there's an alternative plan, but his version of events, if it's true that this current plan wasn't going to happen, would change the game, right? And certainly change the understanding.
Hey, Jack, you're wearing that GOP thing still. I know that doesn't stand for GOP, but you're going to have to take that off. I mean, you sound like Barney. You sound like Barney Frank. I mean, do you feel a little uncomfortable in the?
Oh, wait a second. You know what? As upset as I might be with the Republican Party right now for what might be happening, I'm even more upset with Barney Frank and the lack of leadership that he's showing on that committee. Remember, it is his job.
Hold on, Jack. Jack, you want the Democrats to step forward, which, by the way, Paul Ryan just said to me, the Democrats have the vote to pass this. But you think it's incumbent upon them to step up, basically fall on their sword, and pass this without substantial Republican help. That's what you want them to do, Jack.
They have to do what is the right thing for the economy and for the financial system right now, regardless of what public opinion is. Wait a second, and the Republicans have become obstructionists, and that's what bothered me originally, and I will still say that, and I'm on record saying that. The reality is there's plenty of blame to be passed around. Entire Congress right now is holding things up, and quite frankly, with the end of the quarter coming up in a couple of days, we don't have the luxury to wait around and to debate this. They need to act and act.
Well, Rick says it's not urgent, Jack.
Posturing.
Rick says it's not urgent.
You know, I trade these markets, and I'm in these markets every day. And guess what? It is urgent. It's very urgent that they get this thing done.
Let's just say one.
That's what I'm hearing. Is that
you know what, Steve? I do agree something needs to be done. I guess what I don't agree on is that we need to do this in a haphazard way in 6 hours. Let's spend a few days on it. This is a lot of money.
We don't have a few days,
come
Rick.
On. You know,
we don't have a few days. We got the end of the quarter coming up in another couple of days with funding issues.
Jack, history is loaded with leaders that tell the masses that everything is so horrible, you have to do something now.
History is also loaded with leaders
the market is what the market is. Who's lying?
You need to send the right signal right now, and the right signal is that they're ready to do something. Work out the details afterwards. Just pass the thing because
my kids want $100. You know what? You spend it. Now you're into $100. You have to give them another $100.
Rick, would you give me a second here, Rick? I just want to ask you one question, Rick. Rick, just work with me. The important thing here is not necessarily the details of the plan or even.
No, of course not.
Let me finish, Rick. It's not the details of the plan or even the amount. The importance of the plan here is an effort to instill confidence into the financial system. And it does that. It does that by saying, Rick, that the balance sheet of the U.S. government is now behind fixing this problem. It may end up costing us $50 billion. It may end up costing us $1.5 trillion. I don't know the answer to that.
Hey, guys.
But the bottom line, Rick, is that we're saying we're behind it here, and we're going to fix this, and that could help unlock the private money.
You know why the confidence is shattered, Steve? The confidence is shattered because people like the Honorable Mr. Cox and the whole line have changed rules in the middle of the game. That's what has busted the confidence.
Rick,
really,
we can assign lots of blame later. I know we got to wrap, but
we have to go.
Plenty of time for assigning blame.
We have to go.
That says it all.
Jack, you walked out on us, Jack.
It is. It's impossible to get your emotions and around all the information that's swirling around. I mean,